Hola, Luis.
Hi, Luis. This is Andrea Gines, Barça TV. The other day, Andres Iniesta said that City is identifying itself with the game of Guardiola. How has this affected us when preparing the game? And does this make City being a more dangerous team than with respect to other previous occasions?
Yeah.
Morning. Good morning. Well, when we prepare the game, I think all coaches do that. We, of course, analyse the games, the rival players, plays, and the different solutions they can find. With Man City, we already said how difficult this game is going to be, not only because of the quality and the high class of their players individually, but also as a team, as a collective. You can already see at the beginning of the Premier League, you can already see many different things, many differences compared to the previous tournaments, and you can already see them, the hands of Guardiola, and I'm sure the team will keep improving. It's already looking very attractive. They play a very attractive football. For us, it's a great stimulus. It's a great challenge, and not only because we are going to play to try to get the first in the group, but it's also Man City led by Pep, and we know how difficult it's going to be. We know it's going to be more complicated than any possible previous situation, but we're going to try and sort it out.
Good morning, Margarita, Catalunya Radio. With Pep, you shared the same changing room, the same team, and many would say that you're very similar. What are your feelings to meeting with Pep again, and the fact of knowing each other? Does it make things difficult or easier?
At the end of the day, it's not a game played. Coaches don't play the game. It's the players who decide the outcome of the game. Obviously, some decisions concern to the coach, of course, to the manager. But I was lucky enough to play alongside Pep. Share the dressing room, share many things, not only with the Barça, but also with the Spanish national team. And for me, it's a great privilege to be able to do the same thing, but both as managers at top level, and try to achieve those, to overcome those challenges and those potential games against friends. It's even better to try and win them, to try and win those games. Knowing each other personally does not really mean that I know the way they manage their teams. I've never seen Pep manage a team. I know, of course, more or less we study the rivals and we know how each other play, but I think we've got nothing against in that respect.
Hi, Luis. You faced Manchester City, a different Manchester City. How do you think this City that will be coming tomorrow to the stadium has changed?
Well, there's several players have changed. There's several players have arrived, and it's only a couple of years. Was it last season? No, 2 seasons before this. So what's obvious is that Pep has, a clear implication and a clear bias. How can I say that? A lot of, has a lot of clutch on their teams. Even since pre-season, I've seen City play in pre-season games with lacking a few players, but I've seen many mechanisms with or without the ball which are characteristic of Pep's teams, and I know they want to keep the ball, same as us, that when they don't have it, they are going to use the same mechanisms that we are using. They're going to play the high-pressure game, and they're going to try and generate problems, the same thing that we do. Offensive minded managers trying to win through keeping the ball and creating chances, and I can't imagine a better game for any football fan. I don't mean any City or any Barça fan, just football fans in general.
Luis, the difference between your Barcelona team and the way Barcelona play now and Pep Guardiola's Barcelona team?
Well, in the end, managers must be specialists in trying to make the most of the players we have. Pep's Barça was a spectacular team for 4 years with unique numbers and results, and it was an FC Barcelona based on a passing game, in which, and I repeat, based on the players he looked to overcome the rival and take control of the game. But we try a similar thing, but I try to base my game in the particularities of our players and try to find the best game for us. The idea is the same. Try to play good football, generate more chances than the rival, and to deserve to win the games. And something that is very important that many times we forget, making our fans enjoy. I think Pep, that's one of his mottos, if you like, during his career as a manager, and that is something that is very taken care of here at Barça.
Carlos Escolan, Radio Marca. Good afternoon. Do you have the feeling that this is a key game because you've won 6 out of 6 and Manchester City drew in Celtic Park? Do you think it's a good opportunity to take 9 out of 9?
Well, it's obviously a great opportunity, but then we're going to have to travel to Manchester. So it's not decisive. We're only on the third match day of the group, but it is important for us, no doubt. It's a special game, of course, but it's not decisive. It's not definite. There are still 3 more match days to play.
Silvia Ortiz, Cadena Cope. Gerard Piqué said that in 2014 he considered leaving it all, leaving Barcelona, leaving the national team. Thank goodness he didn't do that. He also said that you had a lot to do with the revolution you brought to Barcelona.
What? Just to make him quit? He wanted to quit because of me. Yeah, I knew he was going to say that. Nah. Well, whatever Gerard can explain, I think if Gerard said something, it's I think you should ask him. But it's great news that Gerard feels that and perceives that, and he's obviously an essential player for us and for the national teams. That's beyond any doubt.
Alfredo Martínez, Onda Cero. You're very similar teams. 2 coaches that you know each other, players who knew each other. What capacity for surprise can you have on the other, where everyone knows each other? And also along these lines, you have never given such importance to possession of the ball. Do you think tomorrow this will be important, key?
Well, I always thought the ball possession is important. We win in 95% of games. We win the amount of possession, the percentage. It's important for us to control the ball and to generate more chances than the rival. There is no better way to defend yourself. But there are games against certain rivals in which possession has no importance because the spaces are maybe somewhere else. But funnily enough, tomorrow ball possession is going to be very important. That's what I think. If we have the ball, it's going to be good for us against City, and if they keep the ball, they're going to have an advantage. Of course, it's going to be important, but that doesn't mean that the one that has more possession is going to end up winning the game. But I repeat, it's a great stimulus. It's a great challenge for all of us, for fans, for the teams, for the clubs, for everything that is at stake, and also for the manager.
Tomorrow, we could see Messi, Suarez and Neymar on the pitch. What does this mean for the team and for you to be able to recover the trident for a game like this?
Well, to have all my players, of course, it's marvellous news because of what it means individually for them. The fact that they can be back in the team, back in the back in the potential list, and back in the squad for this game. But of course, it's always great news to have Leo back, and we can count on players that are more decisive for our team, and the ones that are closer to the rival's goal.
SamLeeGoal.com. A lot of Pep's critics say that what he did here was helped and made easier for the great players that he's got and the great players you've still got, and that almost anybody could have succeeded with Barcelona when he took over. Firstly, can you explain how difficult it is for you to manage a club of this size, and also how difficult it was for Pep to take over when he did in 2008 with the challenges he faced?
Right, that's the life of the manager. This is the life of the manager. When you're playing at this level, if you win, it's because it's easy and anybody can do it. And if you lose, it's because you're bad and you are to blame for everything. In that sense, Pep, in his time, he could have suffered from that. He could have suffered from those kind of opinions. when he took the chance of getting getting the reins of the first team, it was a complete new, it was a 180 degrees turn, for the team. The team played at a fantastic level, and it made Barca a really recognizable team with and without the ball. But other than that, and because, well, according to what you said, related to what you said, that when you win, you try to kind of undermine somebody's job and, not to value too much. It's something that happens quite often.
I wanted to ask you about Jordi Alba and Sergi Roberto. Have they recovered? Are they available for tomorrow's game?
Yes, both of them could train with the rest of the group for the last couple of days, and they are fit.
ESPN.
Against Depor, we could see Leo is okay. I wanted to know whether he will be able to play the 90 minutes. Last time he played against Bayern, Guardiola's team, he played an amazing match with goals and other great plays.
We always imagine kind of visualize the best possible scenario, and I visualize a game in which we play really well. We keep the football. We do well with the ball. We do well without the ball, because in order to overcome this rival, we're going to have to dominate both sides of the game, both aspects of the game. And I hope my players can enjoy it. And I wouldn't only focus on one. I would focus on them all, because in order to overcome this rival, we're going to have to need a good game from all my players.
Claudia Collado de Movistar.
Claudia Collado. Yesterday, the club announced that on Friday, Neymar will be renewing his contract. How important is this for your team?
Well, it's all good news. Maybe a couple of weeks ago, or 2-3 weeks ago, it was Busquets. I think Mascherano was yesterday. Next week it will be Ney, and so on and so on. So this means many things. It's great news for the club, for the manager, for the players, because they're the ones who want to renew their contract. It means they're happy at the club. Everybody wins. And it means that the goals that we set up as a team, we have been achieving them. So it's good news.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Good afternoon, Andrés Corpas, Diario El Mundo. You have always praised Pep Guardiola. Do you think he is destined to be one of the best coaches in history because of what he's able to do and his potential? And on a personal tone, do you have that aspiration? What is your aspiration as a coach? Thank you.
Well, I take it as a habit to value more my friends than my enemies. Pep is a good friend of mine, and it's very easy to value him in a positive way, because I always thought he's the best manager these days, and that's doubtless. And I haven't seen any of his training sessions, but mainly because of his mind and his offensive mindset. He thinks more on attack, of attacking than of defending. I repeat, of course, that defending is very important, but doing it through basing everything through how you attack is very attractive as a football fan, as a football lover in general. And I'm not able to value if he's the best in history or not. I don't know how they managed teams 20 years ago, or if there was, the same level, or what will happen in the future. But I'm sure that he's going to be one of the most important managers in modern football. This modern stage of football. In my case, my objective is to enjoy every game, every training session. I don't want to set up any kind of goals, any sort of objectives. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it now, because I've been really lucky so far.
Joan Domenech, El Periódico. Is this city more similar to the Manchester City of 2 years ago, or to the Bayern Munich of 2 years ago? The Bayern's visit to Nou Camp, could that be a good reference as to what City will be doing tomorrow?
No, I'm not using any images. I didn't see, haven't watched any of the games against Bayern. We played against Bayern. One of the virtues of a good manager is to try to make the most of the players you have, to adapt to the players you have. City has nothing to do with the Man City we encountered a couple of years ago. So they have a new manager who is intelligent and who will no doubt make the most of his player as well. Yes, it will be based on some common grounds with different teams, but there will be nuances, of course.
You always say Messi can move around freely. Is this one of the conditions? Is this a necessary? Is it necessary?
Correcto.
You meant needed?
De tener un
Right, the fact that I can count on a player like Leo, who generates a superiority, coming to get the goal to the midfield, moving in between lines, going to the sideline. There are situations that we try to manage so that they they benefit the team. The more that Leo plays or participates, the better our results are going to be. We're going to create more chances in attack, but that means that we're going to have to counter that position, with the position of several players. That is a mechanism already in the team, but we're going to keep doing that.
Sí, hola, buenas tardes.
Jordi Blanco, Diario Sport. Do you believe that this Manchester City, according to its players, is better suited to the system Pep Guardiola is trying to put into play more so than in Bayern Munich?
es mejor que le pregunte.
I think you better ask Pep. He will tell you exactly what difficulties he might have had here or at Bayern. I have analysed him as a rival coach. I tried to see the weak points where I could hurt them and their strengths, so to protect ourselves from them. So, but if you want to ask anything about Pep's system, I think you should ask him.
According to what you said earlier in one of your previous answers, the fact that in some games the three forwards, according to their qualities, which allow them to go on the counter-attack and take advantage of the spaces other teams leave, tomorrow that would not be the image you want to see, right? For the team to close a little bit, to take advantage of those spaces. You would be giving Manchester City more opportunities to do their game.
Que se quede descolgado nadie.
Well, our objective is not to leave any players up front, and be disconnected from the team. It can happen at a given time if a player attacks, for example, and he uses 80% of their stamina. It's impossible to go back to the line to defend, but that is contemplated in the way we attack, of course. And we like to move as a block, both in attack and in defense, very tight together. That is one of the main factors about attacking and defending as a team. We try to be very tight and not to leave any players isolated at any time. Okay, it could happen, but it's not our objective.
You said that tomorrow will be a match focusing on the possession. Both teams will be fighting 2v for the ball possession. Playing against such a rival, would it be better to play with a defense of 3 or 4?
Or 5 or 6, or a 5-man defense, 6-man defense. The first thing you want to do if you need to pressure, the rival, you need a long ball possession yourself. So if you don't have the ball, in order to put a pressure on City, we're going to have to be very joyful, literally, and use a lot of imagination, and that's what we are going to try to do.
You've been following Pep once he was in the B team and in the first team. Are you continue his steps, and do you see yourself training in the Premiership someday?
I don't know, really. I don't know what the future will bring. It's one of the best leagues. There's no doubt about that. They keep getting. They have more. There are more players and more coaches that go there. But I'm not interested in the future right now.
David Ibañez, Mediaset Sport. You are friends, Pep and you. Have you talked about the future of Messi? Are you worried that Pep could convince Messi to leave?
Hemos hablado del futuro.
No, we haven't talked about Messi's future.
Luis, Marcelo Beckler para Esporte Interativo de Brasil. Sus números con los de
Your numbers and Guardiola's numbers in Barcelona are very similar in terms of goals scored, goals received. Is there any Barcelona that you like more as a supporter, as a fan? Would you prefer to see your Barça or Guardiola's Barça or any others?
Valorar eso.
Well, I haven't really stopped to value that. I like both Barças. They're all the same. We're all wearing, we all wore the same shirts. I think the fans are intelligent enough to enjoy both teams, in their moments or, based on the players the team has had. And I think it's good news that Barça is still recognizable with the attractive philosophy it has for the teams, for the fans, for the football fans.